good question. So I was hoping that might come up in the session. I mean, it's a tricky one. It's kind of a no-brainer that research that's publicly funded should be available to all. I completely support that model. I think we should be aiming to get to there. But working at Nature, I also understand how much work we put into improving the quality of, I work in the front half of the magazine, and all that is kind of subsidized by what we're producing, by the research papers we produce, and the whole economic model wouldn't work unless we had something paying for it. Yeah, so it's, and I think the conversations about open access have been a little hard to make sense of because there's not much transparency about who's paying what right now. So a lot of the open access journals, some of them have had subsidies to keep them going, and it's hard to know, and publishers like my own, there's not that much transparency about what the costs really are. So I still think I'm not involved in the day-to-day thinking about these different models, but I think we absolutely need to get there. I think it's still a struggle to understand quite how we're going to get there without diminishing quality, because I know, just from working at Nature, I know how much we all, there's about 100 editors and we're all doing a lot to add to the quality of the product, and I think how can you do that in a way that somebody has to pay for that somewhere. So yeah, I think it still needs to be figured out the how, but I completely feel everybody in the world should be able to. Exactly, yeah.
You pay 12.
Yeah.
You paid for read it and you paid for do it.
Yeah. I mean, the way the system of having peer review, basically, we peer review pieces, but scientists don't charge for that, and the way the model has been set up is very frustrating for a lot of people, and I really understand that. But just trying to flip to a whole new model overnight is really difficult as well, and how to keep producing really good quality research papers. I don't know. I'm not sure anyone's quite solved it yet, but the world is moving towards it, which is great. How do I choose the pieces? So I am comment editor, so I commission opinion articles from academics, and then I do a lot of work on those pieces. So it's different. So I don't handle the primary research papers, and it really varies. I mean, the way those pieces come to me, it can just be out of a conversation, like some of the conversations I've had here actually have generated ideas for pieces. Or it can be that we're running a special issue about a particular topic, like diversity, and I will go after names, and I'll have conversations, and whoever has a really passionate idea and has a real I feel like the world needs to be changed this way, that could make a good opinion piece. So there's no one set method, it's quite random. Over the years, I have developed a kind of gut instinct for when something's going to work out and be really valuable to the community and to the wider world, or when it's just not such a big deal. And so it's a kind of just learning on the job for so many years of having an instinct that this is going to make a really good comment piece. And sometimes the pieces I do, they're based on a fresh analysis. So someone's done a new analysis and they want to write an opinion piece on the back of that analysis, and that can be really worthwhile because it's new data that no one's ever seen, and we might send that kind of comment piece to peer review, but that's like totally fresh. No one's heard of that opinion because no one's seen that data, so that might be something we would go for. I spend my days trying to figure that out a little bit. I mean, I work with scientists and I spend a lot of time talking to them, and I often will work hard on whatever they send me. I'll work hard to make it more readable for everybody. So the comment pieces we publish in Nature are open access, and we want the world to read them. So that's what my whole job is about, trying to make those very technical ideas readable to a lot of people.
You do that.
That's what I do.
Difficult.
It is difficult, but it's not as difficult as you might imagine. I think so much of the way to get there is to not be afraid to ask questions, and you ask questions and you ask questions, you ask enough questions, and you can always start to understand it, and once you understand it you can make a much simpler way to say it. So it's more doable than it might seem, but you just have to have the confidence to ask questions, and that doesn't come immediately. You have to get used to being okay with never knowing and never understanding, and being okay with that position. But it's always possible to understand science, because much more possible than I think people think, but it's just getting over that fear of asking